In 1841, just a year after the signing of the Treaty of Waitangi, a Maori boy of only 16 would commit an act so shocking it shook both his own people and the British settlers to their core. His name was Maketū Wharetōtara, son of a respected Ngapuhi chief. His crime, the brutal killing of 5 people on a small island in the Bay of Islands. But this was not just a murder case. This was the moment when 2 worlds collided, Maori tikanga and British colonial law. And it would end at the gallows. Before we begin, if you love uncovering hidden, dramatic moments from history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment with your thoughts. It really helps us bring you more stories like this one. Maketū was the eldest son of Rua, a respected Ngapuhi chief. As Rangatira's son, he carried mana and expectations. He was not meant to be treated as a common servant. But in 1841, he was placed to work for the Robertson family on Motuarohia, Roberton Island. To Europeans, this was normal labor. To a Rangatira's son, it was humiliation. He was ordered about, expected to fetch, carry, and obey. The settler family may not have intended deep insult, but to Maketū, every command was a reminder of his lowered status. He especially clashed with Thomas Bull, a European farm worker, and reportedly grew resentful of Mrs. Robertson's scolding. Whispers suggest he felt mocked, belittled, stripped of his dignity. For a proud young man raised in a warrior culture, this resentment festered into rage. In November 1841, Maketū's breaking point arrived. One morning, Maketū turned first on Thomas Bull, the man he hated most. With a sudden strike, he killed him. Then, he attacked Mrs. Elizabeth Robertson, the widow of Captain Robertson. Her 9-year-old daughter tried to flee. Maketū cut her down. He then killed the infant baby. Finally, he turned on Ngaru, an 8-year-old Maori servant girl, striking her down too. 5 lives ended in a frenzy of violence, 4 Europeans and 1 Maori child. This last killing, the death of Ngaru, horrified even Maketū's own people, for while settlers were outsiders, Ngaru was one of them. Her murder demanded utu, balance, justice. The news spread quickly across the Bay of Islands. Maori chiefs were torn. Should they protect the Rangatira's son, or hand him over? Some feared British retaliation if he was sheltered. Others argued Maori justice should deal with him, not the foreigner's laws. At the center was Chief Ru, Maketū's father. Chief Ru. He is my son, my blood. But the child he killed is also our blood. If I keep him, the Pakeha will say we shield murder. If I surrender him, I give my son to a foreign rope. Which choice preserves my people? Finally, in a decision of great personal sacrifice, Rua surrendered Maketū to British authorities. It was a symbolic moment. Maori autonomy giving way to colonial law. March 1, 1842, Auckland Supreme Court, the first major trial of a Maori under British justice. Presiding, Chief Justice William Martin. The jury, entirely European. The defense lawyer, C.B. Brewer. But Maketū confessed openly. The trial was swift. Evidence was presented, witnesses testified, and Maketū himself admitted his guilt. There was no attempt to claim provocation, no argument of cultural difference. The courtroom spoke only the language of the Crown. The jury found him guilty. The sentence, death by hanging. This was not just the judgment of one boy. It was a message. The Crown's law was now the supreme law of the land. March 7, 1842, public gallows in Auckland. Crowds gathered, settlers, sailors, even some Maori, to witness. Maketū, only 16 years old, walked to the rope. Did he feel fear? Did he regret his actions? We cannot know. But as the trapdoor fell, the rope tightened, and Maketū became the first Maori to be executed under British law in New Zealand. His body was buried in an unmarked grave at the prison grounds. For the British, it was proof that their law applied to Maori as much as to settlers. For Maori, it was a bitter moment, a young man condemned by a foreign system, even though his crimes were undeniable. For Chief Rua, it was tragedy beyond measure, surrendering his own son to die so that peace might hold. The execution of Maketū Wharetōtara was more than punishment for murder. It was a turning point, a clash of two systems of justice, two worlds of understanding, two visions of sovereignty. In that Auckland courtyard, a rope ended one life, but it also symbolized the tightening grip of empire over an indigenous people. Nearly 2 centuries later, we still remember Maketū. His crime was brutal, his punishment inevitable under colonial law. But his story is not just about guilt, it is about the cost of justice in a land divided between two worlds. A boy's violence became the Crown's opportunity, and New Zealand would never be the same. If you found this story powerful, give it a like, subscribe for more forgotten histories, and share your thoughts in the comments. Was Maketū's hanging true justice,